movies, music, story times, all kinds of shit for you. Everything goes if it's house and out from Corpulent.
Oh man, this is bad. Remember that time I told people to watch a Men in Black credit sequence? That was the thing. Anyway, I remember this one time. I used to have I still do. I don't like heights.
Yeah.
But I used to have it like really bad back then.
Mm-hmm.
Like I couldn't look up at a building because it would freak me out.
Ah.
And it was during PE. Our humongous, I'm just gonna say, humongous black dude, freaking coach. You know him.
Oh, yeah.
Huge guy.
He literally means it was a humongous black dude.
Yeah, huge guy.
Super cool guy.
He was cool.
Humongous.
He didn't like me though.
Oh, no?
No.
Oh, man.
But he was cool.
If he liked you, he was super rad.
He was cool. I mean, he was cool, and I didn't like him. I mean, he didn't like me. You know what I mean? So I can only imagine if he liked me.
Yeah, he was super rad, dude.
I
I'm just trying to make you jealous now.
I have a mini tale about him.
All right.
Before I get to the tale, I guess. This one time, it was like a free day. You could do whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was like, I guess, I don't know what they were doing. All the horde of like the cool kids were kind of like, I guess, playing with him. I don't know what they were doing. But they ended up like, somehow they ended up piling on top of him, football style. And he was like under everyone, right? And it became clear that he was letting this happen.
Oh, yeah.
Because he busted out like the goddamn Hulk. And I swear to God, dude, went to freaking 10,000 frames per second or some shit. This shit was super slow-mo. Straight Phantom Flex in my eyes. Kids flying like 10 feet, dude. It was cool.
Yeah, you saw that with kids in junior high, right?
Yeah.
I saw him do that with teens in high school.
Damn, homie.
He was just a super... When we say big, he looked like he was fat.
Yeah, he looked super fat.
He looked like he was an enormous fat black guy. But he would... All that gut and bigness, I guess, was pure muscle. Pure muscle. That dude could bench hundreds of pounds like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw homies off. Freaking 20 feet into the air. Anyway, that was cool. It was just a cool moment. Also, I was convinced, I had this theory that I passed on to many people, and they either agreed or disagreed. Mostly disagreed and thought I was crazy. That he always had a fanny pack. I always thought he had his weenie in his fanny pack. Because the fanny pack moved like it had something flesh inside. You know, fanny packs, they move like cloth. This thing looked like it had a wiener, dude.
It had a bounce to it.
Yeah, and if that wiener was in there, huge cock.
It was oddly placed near his crotch all the time. And
for
such a huge guy,
crotch.
You don't put your fanny pack under your fucking massive gut, even if that gut happens to be pure 100% muscle.
Yeah.
You just don't. It's out of reach.
Conveniently over his wiener all the time.
It's a decent theory.
I'm telling you, the movement in the cloth was very wiener-like. I'm an expert in wiener movement. Definitely not mine though, because I got the dead dong. Oh, today we were out and I googled why is my sack cold? Because my sack is always cold. Apparently it's normal.
Yeah, my sack's cold.
Damn it! You made me think like my cold sack was abnormal.
Well, my sack's cold when it's cold. When it's hot, it's all droopy and shit.
Nah, my sack's always cold.
Wait a minute, hold on. How do we get to not telling the story of this guy?
Oh yeah, right. No, that was a sub story. It was during this PE with this guy. He basically had a free thing. That's the end of his involvement, basically. What actually happened was they had the one thing you had to do to get your free day was finish this kind of like not an obstacle course, but this kind of series of events, right? That you have to do. One of which being going up
as they call it, an obstacle course.
Well, yeah, but there was really no obstacles. I guess for a fat man, walking a straight line is an obstacle. So yeah, I guess you're right. This was a freaking triathlon, homie. So I had done everything, and the last thing you had to do was climb. I don't know if you remember in the playground in middle school, or I think it was your high school. They had this massive freaking slide that was super tall.
Yeah.
metal, straight metal.
Yeah.
Go up that shit and come down, right? And I had this mad fear of freaking heights. And this one, I mean, I was a kid, so it seemed like it was 50,000 feet tall. Really, it's probably like 10 feet. I don't know how. It was pretty tall.
Yeah, it was a tall slide.
So everybody went, and I was mad. Like, I can't do that shit, homie. But this dude was like, nah, you gotta do it. Otherwise, you're just gonna freaking run it again. I was like, damn, homie, I'm fat. So I climbed up there and shit. Almost pissed myself. Almost fell to my doom. And then I slid down, dude. And I was like, damn, that shit was fun, homie. So right away, the fool that I was, I Wendy's'd it.
Oh, no.
And wanted to go back up. I went back up. And my pants, like, rode up my leg.
Oh, no.
All the way up to my freaking, like, under ass. And I like slid down in the dead of freaking. It wasn't summer, but it was really hot. So let's say in the dead of summer, sliding down this pure metal, freaking weathered ass hellscape, yeah. And my freaking legs were literally being shorn to the freaking skeleton. And because of the pain in my legs, I like leaned back in pain, I guess. And my shirt rode up. So my entire back, arms, my entire back and legs were being scraped onto the worst cheese grater of all time. So to stop the pain, I reached down and tried to grab the handles, right, on the side. So I grabbed them shits. Horrid heat on my hands came, but unfortunately that also stopped me halfway, and I was already towards the end. And I straight rolled off the freaking thing, dude, and fell like, I don't know, like 3 feet or something.
Oh, man.
It was the worst, dude. It was so hot. So that was the thing. And the rest of my free time, he was laughing at me, by the way. But I would have been laughing too, so whatever. The rest of the time, I just laid in the sand on the floor.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of him, I forget his name, man. It doesn't matter.
I know it.
We're going to call him Livingston.
He has my name.
Oh, yeah, huh?
Yeah.
I remember that, but...
You're close, Livingston, yeah?
Yeah, it was close, right?
Yeah.
We'll call him Livingston. Anyway, Mr. Livingston, huge, hulking, black, muscle-bound guy that he was, had, coincidentally, a mega competitive friendship, if you will, with his own Buffy, if you will, another coach named Barrera. And also a really cool guy, by the way. And the reason I think they were cool, one, because I've never been, that is until I fell off my fucking front steps. I've always been a very active big guy, you know what I'm saying? I could do a lot that you wouldn't expect of me physically. And so when I was in their classes, they would always be like, damn, homie. And they were also those guys that were always like, damn, you got to join the football team. To which I said, nah, homie. But anyway, they were super cool. And they would have this incredibly competitive friendship about bench pressing.
Yeah.
And they were in the like 400, 500 area. They could bench press. Well, it got to the point where it was clear it wasn't fun for either of them. How bad did it get? Barrera ended up ripping his damn tit.
Damn, homie.
They were pushing the boundaries of the 400 and something odd pounds. And literally it was like, you do 1 or 2 reps, and then that's it, right?
Die.
But, and so they would spot each other. And Livingston had just broken some sort of personal record that they had amongst each other. So Barrera over there had to try it on his own. And he was like struggling, dude. And everybody, of course, was watching like, holy shit, right? And, I mean, he was wearing a shirt and you could see that sucker go, whoosh, whoosh. That tit tore, dude. Oh, mad ripped.
Damn, homie.
Ripped tit, for real.
Did you hear it?
No, but I don't know if you've ever seen, I think it's called Accepted with Jonah Hill, that scream, that girlish scream. It was that scream. Like a scream that you don't want as a masculine guy to ever be known for. But nobody ever, like how kids are, they can be really cool.
Yeah.
Nobody ever made fun of him. Nobody ever talked about it. They were like, damn, his titty tore,
He's
though.
just ripped, homie.
Mad ripped tit.
Yeah. There's no drinking from that mother's milk.
Yeah, and they fixed his tit, but it was always crooked. You know what I'm saying? He had the crook tit, if you will.
Tit, dude.
But on that subject of competitiveness and PE and all that shit, PE, by the way, for a fat guy is the worst.
It's the worst thing.
Now, I actually liked PE.
I hate it.
Again, because I was just a cheap way to get some exercise in, I guess, one, and the activities were usually pretty fun, with the exception of a few. I didn't like squatting because I have like a hernia in my stomach. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I can't fit the squat belt around that area. I mean, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to put it around your abdomen. I mean, your lower abdomen, which currently and back then was a gut. Yeah. So that wasn't going to work. And the area that I wanted to protect, I couldn't. The squat belts are too small for that, right? So I didn't like that. And of course, extensive running back then to me was like, I hate that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I like PE. The thing I hated about PE was the locker room. Of course, you have to dress out for PE. Did you ever have to dress out? You didn't get to that?
Yeah, but it was in Arizona.
Okay, well, we had to dress out all our high school years, and that's not the issue. I had no problem with that. The issue was that everybody's a fucking twat at that particular moment, you know? They decided that the locker room was the time to just be the worst people that they could possibly be. Yeah. And so what would happen every fucking time, everybody would come in after, the activities were over to dress out. And I would try to dress out as quick as possible to get the shit out of there. Because what would happen every time is you're dressing out and all of a sudden somebody goes up to the fucking light switch and turns it off. And everybody starts throwing their shoes. And you're going to get hit.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Like a rock.
Madly in the mouth. So
always in the mouth.
What I would do is I learned this technique, because when you sit down to put on your shoes or whatever.
Get your bag, homie.
They didn't have a bag.
Damn, homie.
Well, I had a bag, but I had that, that over-the-shoulder fucking bag. You can't really do much with that shit. It was too full of shit. Yeah. Anyway, what I learned is I could just sit down on the bench up against the lockers, open the two lockers next to me, go like that, and literally have a locker helmet. So this worked for me quite well, except that one day I underestimated the length of time the shoe throwing had gone.
Oh, no.
The sounds had died down, and I was like, it's over. So I opened my helm, if you will. Mind you, this isn't pitch dark.
Helm's deep.
Is this it? Is this all you can conjure, Saruman?
This isn't pitch dark, and I opened it, and, what I can only describe as a fucking shoe
That's a good description, guy.
hit me in the damn fucking maw, man. Like, it straight up hit me in the fucking jaws. And they turn on... It's one of those that puts you into a daze. You're like, what the fuck? They turn on the lights, and I went like this, and I had blood all over my hands. And some dickbag, whose name was Ralph. Whose name Ralph, by the way.
Are you gonna wreck it?
He was one of those guys that was like, everything to him was a joke. Like, everything. It might seem like we're like that here, but really, we're not.
Literally in the edge of suicide when we turn these
100%. So, you're looking at ghosts really right now.
Not good.
But he was just one of those guys that, and if you're from a Mexican culture, you understand how annoying that guy is. He's a guy that just like, dude, shut up already. And Mexicans can be pretty jocular.
Yeah.
But there's that one guy.
Yeah, you're like, what
dude.
is this?
Anyway, he was that guy, and he decided that this was the time for him to pipe up. And it just ticked me the fuck off, dude. It ticked me the shit off. And the shoe that had hit me was at my feet. So I picked it up, and I go, whose fucking shoe is this? And coincidentally, it was the shoe of the guy that had flicked on the light. Now, I don't know if he threw it, because since shoes are being thrown everywhere, people could just pick up shoes and throw them. I don't know if he threw it, but he was straight across from me, coincidentally, So I just assumed, and was too angry to care otherwise, that it was him. So I got that motherfucker and I threw it with all my might and anger behind it. But there was too much might and anger.
Oh no.
And instead of a good solid chuck, it was like one of those times where they get like the girliest of girls to do the first pitch.
Oh no.
That son of a bitch almost fell behind me. It was that bad a throw.
You got negative space on that
Dude,
shit?
it was the girliest throw of all time. So that just led to open mockery, right? And I welcome that because that was my bad right there.
Stinky throw.
But then I had a plan. I was like, I'm not gonna let this die, right?
Yeah.
So I formulated my plot. That was a Friday, by the way, so I had all weekend to formulate and brew my plot into perfection. So
Fuck, this plot's gonna suck.
so on Monday when we went back, I already knew it's gonna happen, right? And it always happened when the majority of people would sit down to take off their shoes, you know, to put on their pants or whatever. That's when it would pop off. Somebody would notice, and boom, the lights would go off. So I sat down and I took off my shoes before everybody took off their shoes, and I had them in my hand like a so, right? And the moment I see the guy go up, another guy go up to the door, I'm up to the light switch, I stand up from the bench. Right? Are you following me here?
Yeah.
You think you know where I'm
Were
going?
you brass knuckling fools with your freaking shoe gauntlets?
Better. Better.
Yeah.
I was Xenaing fools.
What?
They turned
You had
off
a
the light.
Neoshock room?
They turned off the light, and I was literally just fucking spinning around with these motherfucking shoes doing this shit.
God.
Hitting everything from
Wait,
here to...
Hold on. This was your carefully over the weekend.
Yes, my elaborate plot was to flail hopelessly into
How
the
much
dark.
planning did this go into? Did you have like
it-
blueprints and
Oh,
shit?
dude, I planned it out as much as you planned your concert for an entire school.
Oh, my... I feel like not enough people saw that video.
Yeah, look up that video.
Yeah, it's the worst.
It's somewhere. I don't know what the hell it's called. But anyway,
It was bad.
I was flailing about with these shoes, but I was mad hitting people, dude. Like a lot. It wasn't as shitty as the plan was.
It functioned.
It functioned, you know. I was hitting mad folks, and they were like the squeals of delight subsided and turned into screams of abject agony. At one point, I dropped the shoe gig and just straight up started punching fuckers.
Uppercutting fools into the
Yeah,
stratosphere.
straight up. And all said and done, somebody's like, "Oh, turn on the light." And they turned on the light. And Barrera was the one that turned on the light.
Oh no!
And I'm here, you know, clearly having socked about 100 fucking people in the mall. And he looks at me. He shrugs. He goes up to the pisser. Takes the longest piss in the history of mankind to utter silence. And then walks out. Reaches in and turns off the light.
Damn,
And I'm like, damn, homie. He knew all
He
along.
let you have your vengeance.
No, I didn't continue punching, but, you know, that was it. That was the last time they did the shoe thing, man.
Yeah, who does that?
Bad shoe.
Yeah. Who throws a shoe?
Who throws a fucking shoe, man? It's not cool. By the way, I know a lot of people take showers after gym class. Nobody took a shower. I don't know if it was just decided across the board that nobody want to see dings.
Yeah, who wants to see dings?
But,
It'd be really cool if you guys wouldn't tell people I scream like that.